it's me, Mario. Hey guys, welcome to this Mario cake tutorial. I'm going to show you how I make Super Mario and some of the decorations that go on the cake. First, I start with Mario's head. So I'm using this light tan colored fondant and I roll it out and it's on a piece of parchment just so I can move it around easily. I use a Dresden tool to make some of the markings of his ears and whatnot. And right now I'm just cutting out his shirt. And then I'm measuring his hair so that I can glue it on with my edible glue. You can find it on my website. I'll put a link in the description. I'm making his hat out of some red fondant and I'm just fitting it on. And then right now I'm gonna do the overalls. So what I do is I use the photo of Mario and then I just kind of lay it on the fondant and then I'll just make a marking on top of the paper and it just leaves like a little indentation into the fondant. And then that's when you can go back in and cut it out. So that's kind of what I do. For the eyes, it's a little different. So I just lay it over his actual eye and then I can kind of see if it's going to be the same size or not. That's the same thing with the little M on his head. So that's why I'm cutting out these particular sizes. Just trying to make sure I get it as accurate as possible. I'm making his eyes right now. And then I'm cutting out his pupils. I'm just making sure that they fit on top of the picture and that way they'll fit onto the eyes that I'm making out of fondant. And then I'm gluing them on with my edible glue. Oh my gosh, he looks so weird without his nose. So I'm cutting out his mustache with some black fondant. I just cut the mustache out of the picture that I had printed. You can see there. And then I lay it over his head and then you have like this little slit of where you can see that it goes. So that's kind of like a cool little trick. I made his nose. I kind of just looked at the picture to see how big it would be. And then I ended up cutting out that little M that's on his hat. I just wanted it to be the same exact shape. So that's why I cut that out. And now I'm gluing that together. And now I'm gonna make the brim of the hat. So I just use a circle cutter just to kind of cut out that little shape there. And then I glued it on. Right now I'm cutting out the yellow stars. I believe these are called superstars. It has those two little black eyeballs on it. And then I'm also rolling out some brown fondant for the bricks. They have little cube bricks in the game. So that same size cutter, the square one, is the same size I'm using for those yellow squares, and those are gonna have the question marks painted on them. For the little coins, I just painted them with some edible gold bling highlighter from Pepsy Cakes. I'll put the link in the description. I'm painting with some poppy paints right now. I didn't really like how I did that question mark, so the next one came out a lot better. I'm gonna make the piranha plant right now. Just with a red circle cutter, and then the white part I just kind of molded with my fingers. And then for the teeth I just cut out some white gum paste in the shape of like a spiky triangle and then added some dots on the outside of that red part. I made that other flower too. I don't know what that one's called. For the cake here, oops, I'm using some light blue buttercream and I'm adding it to my chilled cake. It's already creme coated, but this is the final coat. And I'm adding that blue buttercream with my offset spatula, but then I go in there with the smooth cake comb from Ester Cakes. I will put a link in the description. My favorite cake combs ever come from her. Clean up the top there, and then you want to pop that in the fridge until it's nice and firm. For the grassy hills, I just used edible gel food paint mixed with vodka, and I kind of hated it. And I was mad at myself. Why didn't I just use poppy paint? But I thought, I don't know why. I just didn't use it. And I regretted it, but in the end, I think it came out pretty good. So I'm just gluing all of these little details onto the cake with my edible glue. And I made some little clouds there too. I think it just went with the whole design. For the gold coins, I added them on the right-hand side and I kind of wanted them to look like they were floating up. When Mario grabs the coins by hitting the brick, they kind of float up. So that's what I was going for. Oops, that little coin fell over. I think I ended up sticking a floral wire into it just so that it stood up. I kind of made sure that they looked like they were floating up. Check out all these little details of the cake. I was completely obsessed. I love Mario. I love playing the game Mario. I hope you guys like this cake. Please be sure to follow along by subscribing and give this cake a huge thumbs up. Thanks, guys.